Hey y'all, Mason here, CNA Games. How we doing? Episode 10, bulking up. Let's see where we're at. Can you guys see? Let's see. Oh, kind of weird angle. Whoops. There we go. Firmly into the six digits. 102,439. 102,439. What's it feel like? What's it feel like to be 100,000 plus? It feels like not a whole lot has changed, which is, I don't know. I don't know what I would expected, but I just expected some sort of special feeling, but it's more work to do, right? Doesn't stop there. We got a lot more to do, and we'll have to keep doing stuff for the foreseeable future to try to get, I have a soft goal of 150,000 cards. But, at this point, why stop there? Why not put as many cards as we can? As many that make sense. As many as we have. Because surely we have millions of cards to put in if we wanted to. So, why not? Why stop there? So, I don't know, just kind of exciting. It is a good feeling to say, like, yep, we're doing good. Discrepancies. Yeah, discrepancies are manageable. They're in a good range. One of my guys was upset because there was 9 discrepancies, and it was on a 500 card RI, and it's like, yeah, that's at 2%, but we're past the point of it being scary, to being so close to the 5% or surpassing 5%. So obviously 2% is where we want to be, and that's right at the cusp of where we are currently. But it's just, I feel like if you have 100,000 cards and you're putting in, like last week we put in 12,000 cards. This week I didn't do the math, but I think the soft math is almost 5,000 cards. So if you put in that many cards every week, there's bound to be some issues, right? Like and that's just dealing with adding 5,000 of anything to anything. That type of stuff is going to happen. But it is also important to not be complacent either, because then that's how things start to snowball. Things get worse, and then we struggle to maintain that type of good numbers. So that's what we want to do, is be maintaining those numbers so that things aren't out of control and we're just get back to as bad numbers as what we had previously. So that is what we're working on currently. That's kind of the idea. The goal is that, accepting things are going to happen. And I'm telling you, there's some funky stuff happening that, cards that I know for a fact I personally put in the system, and that they're missing, discrepant, or how does it happen? How does it happen? So we're trying very, very hard to get the low amount of numbers that we do have of cards that are missing, not in the right typing, stuff like that. Trying to pin down, see what's going on, and try to focus on correcting that kind of stuff. It's frustrating because I don't know. It's like either we're at 0 and you're like, oh man, we're perfect, we're doing everything great, everything's fine, but it's not. There's always at least 1 or 2 things that are just out in a weird spot, and it's just, how does it happen? So that's the kind of thing we're buckling down, is trying to figure out how that's happening. Especially stuff with like Bloomburrow numbers are off already, like quantities not being correct. So we selling them in store locally, and then we go to fulfill them on an online order, and then we didn't take them out of the system somehow, or we didn't finish the kiosk processing and marking those as all done. That type of stuff is what it's gonna happen. Things get busy, the guys get doing stuff, and things just kind of fall apart. But trying to get them to complete tasks and finish that type of stuff, we can try to minimize it, but I think it's kind of inevitable that things are gonna sometimes things are just gonna happen. So yeah, I mean, that's the kind of the focus that we're trying to pin down. Just like, okay, it's going to happen, but avoiding it is what we're working on. And then the other thing we're talking about with the guys is that, I think I said this in last week's video. It's all blurring together. But are we being too strict on cards? Because a vast majority of the discrepancies that we do have are from things that are either like, we need a borderless card when it has a regular thing. They are not condition stuff anymore. So are we being too harsh? For example, let me show you an example. I have this Yugioh V-Altard. Beautiful card, right? Pretty desirable. The front of this card is pretty good shape. There's not a single white spot on the back of this card. It is super, super clean, but look at the surface. Let's see if I can get it. Ooh. I'll have to upscale this one in 4K to see if you guys can see the surface issues on this card. Just little minor, like, scuffs and things. You can kind of see on the top corner right there, above the mon right now. Kind of stuff like that. It's got like a little bit of just somebody having it around out of a sleeve and just rubbing it around or putting on a surface or on a table or something, and then stuff like that. It is over the entire back of the card. That's a surface issue. That's scuffing. So that should be a major scuff. That's 8 points. That means it's beyond LP. It's in moderately played territory, and that is what we have this card at moderately played. Is this card moderately played? That's the difficult part of just like, yeah, we're following the letter of the law, right? But I think the principle is kind of lost on this part when it's we're putting in a card that's as good a shape as this card is at moderately played. I don't know. You guys tell me, what would you put this card at? Would you, as a buyer, be upset if that came in a light played condition? Let me know. I am truly interested in seeing, because obviously, like, that card too is I don't know what the moderately played versus the near mint price is. It's probably considerable, So how much money are we throwing away, basically, by putting things in that are near mint, lightly played, but kick back, and based on the point value that they should be getting assigned, how much of that is just us losing money, right? Now, the thought is that if we buy the card at that condition, we hit our margins, everything's fine, right? By the way, the near mint for that card is 164. The price for our card that's in there right now is 148. So, is it a ton of money? No, it's like, what, 15 bucks? But it's not always the case, right? There's tons of other cards that, again, I was talking about Bloomberg last week and putting all of our cards in at LP when, these cards would all have sold very, very quickly if they're at near mint. But they're not near mint. They're not. So, are we being too harsh? The numbers, the discrepancy numbers, show that, yes, we are. And in fact, the SEIs that we're getting back, they're saying, yes, this card is put in at MP, it is LP. Now, those don't ding against us for some reason. But we are seeing an uptick of those type of discrepancies that we don't get necessarily counted, but they are, like, they're disagreements on conditioning, right? So it's just a constant battle of just going one way or the other. Are we too strict? Are we not strict enough? Just trying to figure out what exactly we can do to fix this type of stuff, because I don't want to lose money, but I like being indirect, and I like selling, these, 10, 15 cent cards for a quarter and higher. So, and getting the 15% premium and stuff like that on these cards. So it's, it's really difficult. It's really hard to, I can see where people will be like, man, this ain't worth it. This ain't, too many times like that. We're just like, man, I'm selling a LP card. I'm getting so much less for it, and anybody would be happy with getting that card. So one of those things that we're just it's just a constant battle of going back and forth and seeing whether or not I agree with it and if it makes sense. Right now, sure, it's making sense. Again, if we buy it at that price, we have our margin set as it should be, sure, that's fine. Is that card potentially not selling as fast? Are we not turning the money over as fast as we could be? Could I take that money in that card and flip it 2 more times in the time that it takes that card to sell and make compounding percentages on that instead of just selling that card and waiting for it to sell at its proper condition? It's complicated. There's a lot of stuff to this. It's not black and white. So stuff we're thinking about, stuff we're talking about, and obviously we are making some decisions that not to go against the points, but you know, maybe we're looking at things too harshly, and you know, maybe, you know, a scratch here, there, or whatever it is, it's okay. We can let it go, you know, based on that, just because of how it otherwise looks. And if we sell it off direct, anybody would be happy with it, you know. Ah, well. That's all I got for this week, guys. Hopefully, again, appreciate y'all watching. It's fun. It's a fun series to record. We will see what's going on next week and what the numbers looking like. But for now, that's all I got. All right, guys. We'll see you. Bye.